What's up, guys? It's Quinn.
It's Alex.
It's Iconiccomic, and we're back ready to review Wonder Woman, Warner Brothers' fourth installment in their DC Extended Universe. Stars Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Patty Jenkins directed it. It's Gal Gadot.
Oh, is it? Okay. I thought it was Godot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Gal Gadot, but female-led and female-directed Wonder Woman. It's ridiculously crushing box office numbers for those aspects. So we're going to review this mullet style, non-spoilers in the front, spoilers in the back. Go ahead.
I feel like this movie was definitely the movie, or this was the movie that women definitely deserved, and they needed it. The movie was just fantastically done, because at no point in the movie did I see Wonder Woman and think, oh my god, she is sexy as hell. I didn't feel that the whole time.
I did, but they didn't push it in your face.
Exactly. And you get that in other movies, like when you watch The Avengers, when Scarlett Johansson's on screen, she's being sexualized, and I'm not complaining or nothing, but it's really obvious.
I think they've gotten better.
They have gotten better.
Iron Man 2 was way worse with that than it is currently.
I mean, you see her on screen, tight outfit, you're seeing there's not a whole lot left to the imagination. But in Wonder Woman, I mean, it was interesting to see a superhero movie, or a movie in general, through a woman's eye. That being said, when they sexualized Chris Pine, I didn't feel like it was out of place. You know, I didn't feel like, oh my god, why are they showing Chris Pine with his shirt off? I didn't feel that. I felt like it was a good balance.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think that this movie did a lot for women, and kids too, little girls and boys.
Yeah.
It showed that a woman can be definitely strong, and sometimes even stronger than men in times of
not even just physically, just
mentally,
in
just
morals
mentally.
And,
that definitely.
Yeah, but this was definitely the most different DC Extended Universe movie that we've gotten thus far. So out of the four, you have Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman. It tonally, it was completely different. And I'm not saying I don't like the other ones for their tone. This couldn't be the same tone though. This had to be different. Thing is, it was dark where it needed to be dark, and it was light where it needed to be light. When you were on the Mascara with the Amazonians, it was very light, bright, luscious colors, very bright color scheme.
As soon as it got to London,
you're in no man's land, the war.
Yeah,
it's dreary, it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
But when there's parts of light where it needed it, it didn't just stay dark the entire time.
It brightened back up.
Yeah. So, talking about performances, I know a lot of people were worried about Gal Gadot playing Gal Gadot. I feel like I have to put an accent on it. Playing Wonder Woman, just because she's not a huge actress, and she hasn't gotten the chance to show her ability. She was in the Fast and the Furious. She was in that one movie with Zach Galifianakis, that action comedy where they were neighbors with spies or something. It flew under the radar. It was not a good movie. But she hasn't been, and then she was in BVS as Wonder Woman, but she hasn't really gotten that chance yet to show us what she can do. And I thought she killed it in this role. She is Wonder Woman.
She hit it home, and
she was extremely funny, but it wasn't cheesy. It was funny in her naiveness and her personality. Just because it was like a fish out of water. It was a very fish out of water story, almost like Thor. That's why Thor was funny in the Thor movie, because he did not know our ways.
Yeah,
she didn't know the human ways, and she really took grasp of that role, and obviously the physicality of the role she just nails.
Absolutely. And I think the supporting characters this isn't a spoiler, but when she would meet other men, they complimented her very differently than in like some other movies would, where a guy saw Wonder Woman and really admired her. It wasn't like damn, you're hot. Like,
there were times, there were certain characters that did that.
But they really didn't. What they said was like, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was like, you're a work of art. You are a work of art.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm saying, like, they saw her for. There were some points where the men just saw her for her looks.
Yes, but when they complimented her, it was different than what we're kind of used to.
Yeah.
It was they revered her instead of like seeing her as a piece of meat. I mean, like, she was called a work of art, which is really empowering, and I think they did a really good job with that. And the supporting characters were men, and not one of them like tried to do anything or anything like that. Like, they respected her, like, to the highest degree. I feel like, which is different than what we're used to. I feel like.
Yeah. I would say I felt like I could have used, once they, you know, it's in the trailers, once they left the Mascara and she goes to like London, all these places, I could have used more female roles. There weren't many.
Like, for
it was
supporting?
It was pretty much just her and Etta Candy.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. Like, there were girls in the background, but it was those two and then just like a shit ton of men. Now, on the battlefield, that makes sense. But when she's just like, you know, when she's just around the city and stuff, I felt like she could have had more interaction with other women. That's a small gripe. But that's just, I'm nitpicking. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Like, with a movie like this, you kind of have to nitpick.
Yeah.
Because it was fantastic.
The action was phenomenal.
Dude, oh my lord.
And I feel like we really can't get into too much of it because it would be spoiling it. You know what I mean?
We'll save it.
Yeah, so we'll just say for now, the action, just the way it's shot, the way the Amazonians move, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful action. It's not just, there's not a lot of just bombastic stuff. There is in certain scenes, but a lot of it's just like, it's like certain martial arts where it's just like beautiful movements. You know what I mean? But they're life-threatening movements.
Yeah, if you get hit by it, you will die.
You done, son.
Do we rate this now?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh my god, the score, the music was amazing. I want this album to work out to the entire album.
You know what was cool though? With the main score, the theme song,
they didn't overuse it.
They used it a couple of times, but it wasn't overused.
And it was
different.
I mean, they already wrote it, but it writes itself.
It wrote itself.
Yeah, it was different in little bits and pieces, or like you would just hear like the twangs of it, like kind of like, remember in BVS where you first saw Wonder Woman and you just heard the little.
And I think like a better example would be Star Wars with the Imperial March.
What?
Like,
keep explaining.
like you hear the dun 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 dun.
But there are times when you just see Vader and you just hear like the end of it, like
exactly,
very
or the tempo is super slowed down. Dun, dun,
yeah,
dun.
They did that a lot with the theme. But even like past just her main theme, there were points like in the music where I'm just getting like, where I grab the handles on my seat and like sit up and like
it was
good. I get goosebumps.
It was really good.
And this is the last thing, and it's not really a spoiler to say that they didn't do something. They didn't try to shoehorn a bunch of Justice League in there. This was her movie.
Yeah. Because
which was good.
If this was directed by a man, it would have been shoehorned in. I feel like they would have
Depends on the man.
Like, you would have seen Bruce Wayne at some point. But no, this was her movie, and through a woman's eye at the helm, that's what we got. And it was a breath of fresh air. It was really good. It was wonderful. Pun out of the way now.
And the last thing I'll say, it was a nice, and this is not a slight, it was a very simple story.
It didn't need to be complex.
It wasn't that complex, and it's perfect.
It did not need to be complex.
An origin story.
Yeah.
It was perfect. There wasn't a lot of, like, me having to think back a bunch of plot points that I thought I missed, maybe, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kept it nice and simple. If I'm going to score this bad boy, bad girl, I guess I would say.
I already know what I'm going to give it.
I'm going to go 9 out of 10.
I'm going 10. I've never given a 10.
10?
I'm giving it a 10. I would watch this movie every day. I enjoyed it that much. I'm giving it a 10.
Now, is this a, like, 10 out of 10 saying it's a perfect movie, or, like, when I give 10 out of 10s, meaning just out of the pure entertainment value of it?
Entertainment, the charm, the score, the action, the drama, light, heavy, the tone.
So it's kind of like why I give Avengers a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's the same reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I don't do it often, but I'm giving this movie a 10.
So 9.5 collective score, right?
9.75.
9 plus...
Average.
Is it? I don't think so.
Whatever. It's fine.
No, it's not. Because, like, you do 9 plus 10, you meet in the middle, don't you?
Are you giving it a 9 or 9.5?
A 9.
You're screwing up this...
I said 9.
Oh.
Then you gave it 10.
Oh, then 9.5.
So 9.5.
I thought you said 9.
I meant collective, we're 9.5.
Okay.
So we average it.
Whatever. 9.5. I still give it a 10.
All right, 5 seconds to spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You better be out of here.
This... Oh, my God. Okay. I got to get this off my chest. When they were saving the town and she was using the lasso, when she grabbed that dude
By the leg.
No, like by the torso, jump spin sidekick.
Oh, the jump spin sidekick.
Dude.
I went crazy with the jump spin
Like,
sidekick.
we're sitting there in the theater and I'm the only one that's getting hype. And when she does that, I'm like,
Like, we're so used to doing it, like,
It was
on reactions
so-
that
oh my
I
God.
do it in the theater now.
Like, if anybody did that, I'd be like, but the lasso just, boom, jump spin sidekick.
They never overused any of her weapons.
No,
Like,
not
they
even
were all
a little
used
bit.
perfectly. Like, and,
You want to start from the beginning, or do you want to...
Did we ever?
You're right.
I will tell you the reason I didn't give it a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And it was the villain. Ares. He was really cheesy when he put the
I
battle
agree
armor
with that,
on.
too. Here's my thing, now. Well, I want to talk about the German villain. What was his name again?
I don't know.
It started with an L, but he was.
Damn it.
But we all thought that he was Ares, but then when she started to fight him, when they got to him, I feel like he's not Ares because they got to him really easily, and she's beating him really quick.
I had a feeling that I keep calling him Lupin.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's Lupin.
The what was his name? The guy with the mustache who Chris Pine worked for.
Lupin. We all know him as Lupin. Let's
Yeah.
just say him.
Who was really Ares. I started to figure out that he might be Ares once he started, like, getting itchy when Wonder Woman and Chris Pine started making their way through Germany, like, pretty easily.
Yeah,
Like, when
like,
they
a little
called
skittish.
him, and like, it was like, there's no reason for him to be like, all right, we need to slow down. Like, we're killing Germans too fast. Like, huh? Like, no,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sent us on this mission to do this. We're doing this, and now you're getting, like, scared because you didn't think we could do it before.
Here's my thing, and my girlfriend and I, we agreed on this. Lupin, his name's Lupin now.
I'm gonna look up his name while you, like, the character's name while you finish.
He was great for what he was, and when you first saw him, like, okay, when she hold on, when
That scene's amazing.
When she finally killed the German guy, and then nothing happened, then it's like, oh crap, like, he's not Ares. but then you see Lupin in
Sir Patrick.
Sir Patrick.
And Ludendorff was the other guy.
Ludendorff. So you see Sir Patrick talking to her, all calm, cool, and collect, and he just appeared there. So then as soon as I saw him, I'm like,
oh, shit.
You bastard!
That scene was, like, very, almost horror movie-esque. Like, it was
scary.
very creepy.
It was very creepy. So then, like, the way he's talking, like, you knew he was Ares from the get-go. And then she tried to use Godkiller, the sword, and he puts his hand and it just disintegrates.
When that happened, I went, what?
And it's like, well, she's dead. She's dead.
Oh, you're the Godkiller.
So then, what my girlfriend and I, what we agreed on is, I think it would have been better, or we think, whatever. I think it would have been better if Sir Patrick
transformed into something else.
Into Ares.
Because he looked goofy with the same mustache.
Instead of putting armor on top of it. Like
yeah.
And you know,
the same voice.
I actually forgot that Ares is an actual DC villain.
Yeah, he is.
I forgot.
And now the only reason it made just maybe a little more sense, but not much more, is when it flashed back to when he was a god, when he was like when Zeus struck him down and he was in a cave, but he was jacked, and but he still had the mustache. I'm like, why would they have mustaches back then? Like, I don't understand. But anyway, 5 minutes later, that's when we get the coup de grace. So I will say, I think and again, why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10, I think the Ares fight maybe went on too long.
See, I disagree.
I think it went on too long because she had an initial fight with him and then basically a whole nother fight with Ares when he put the armor on. But I think the better part of the fight was the second part of the fight after she gets blown away like 2 miles away from him, and then Chris Pine comes up to her and she can't hear, and she's talking to him, and at this point he hands her the watch or whatever. Kind of like Captain America's watch when he sacrificed himself.
It's like, if only we had more time.
Oh my God. He runs away, whatever. She sees him get on the plane, and then Ares traps her in some sort of like metal thing into the ground. She can't get out. She's looking at the plane, and that scene was actually like really well, because it could have been too cheesy, like how many times they cut back and forth between his face, the bombs, her, his face, the bombs, her, like, because it kept getting closer. They did it the perfect amount of times. He reaches back, shoots it, the plane explodes. The emotion that she showed,
it was sad.
Great acting.
It was really sad.
And then she just
boom.
And I got up in my seat. I went, all right, we in now. Like, I just I put my hands on my knees, like I was like a little kid.
By the way, she was the weapon. She is Godkiller.
She is the Godkiller.
Because she's a god.
Yeah. So I guess it's a different sword that she has in Batman vs. Superman. It has to be, right?
Yeah.
And I also think it was a different shield too. The shield looked different. Maybe. But and she just starts going to town. And then the scene very shortly after that, when she's got the tank over her head and Dr. Poison is right there. That was awesome.
That is like when Luke Skywalker chose the light side when he was about to kill Vader.
And he looks at his hand.
Yeah.
Looks at him. Yeah.
And then she realized that love is what wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just the tank just went.
You know what's funny though? A tiny part of me thought that she was going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
That she was going to kill her, just because like all the people that she had killed. She killed that entire village basically.
Like when Ares started to talk about telling her to do it, I was like, she's not going to do it. Like, you know she's not going to do it because
But when she first lifted it and she's there, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, she's going to kill her.
This girl's going to die.
She's going to die. No Man's Land.
Dude, okay, real quick, though.
Go ahead.
Okay, when they were in the trenches, because she's never heard of something called No Man's Land. So what I
She lives on No Man's Land.
So what I thought would have been, like, cool at the time, but maybe cheesy later, is if, like, when Chris Pine was explaining really, like, quickly, like, you can't go out there. That is no man's land. No man can go through there. But a woman can. And then she just goes.
That would have been cheesy.
That would have been cheesy, but...
In the moment, like the first viewing, you would have been like, oh.
I know, but like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like...
But what was better was when, and I didn't really know what she was doing at first, she just kind of like tucks her head down, and then it cuts the pine, it cuts back, and she lifts up, and the tiara is on it. I went, it's going down, and that's what I'm going to do. And
yep.
She starts climbing, and like she just like
drops
the robe.
It's
She's
from the trailer. You guys know this part.
But it was better than the trailer.
Yeah.
That scene is, I'm going to put it in my top 10 superhero fight sequences of all time. Just from a pure inspirational...
Like what it meant.
Inspirational, badass, and just, like, the chills I got from that scene I haven't gotten in a while. Like the Doomsday fight was cool. It was really, really cool. But I didn't get a lot of chills. You know what I mean? Like, the only time I maybe got chills is when Superman flies up and both of their heat visions are, like, fighting each other Harry Potter style. That's all I like to call it. But other than that, I was like, I didn't get a lot of chills. When she starts climbing up the ladder, and then it's just... And she's just using the bracelets.
Blocking bullets.
Bop, bop, bop. Thing is, that started a, like, 20-minute straight sequence of her kicking ass. Because it was the trenches, then the village.
Then the mortar came, and then she just...
Like it was nothing.
And then what was cool is when I got chills was she started walking. And then she started to pick up speed. Then the mortar came and she... And then...
It was the way she got her shield out. It was like so fast. It was like... And it was like... And I just... Could you imagine like what the Germans were thinking?
It's like what is going on? Nine.
And then the village. When you touched on it, but when she jumped into the top of the church, everyone in my screening, and like the entire top of the church just exploded.
Dunsville.
My entire screening went like, holy shit. And like it was like, oh my god. Like she just
you know,
because I thought what was gonna happen was she was gonna just like pop up there and then kill the dude. No, it was like the entire church.
You know what was
apart.
cool though? When Chris Pine he had help and they put the metal on their backs and he just yells, "Shield!" like on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Like he saw, so it was like a parallel. I thought that was really cool, and she knew exactly what that meant. Like, I'm gonna jump off this, and I'm gonna wreck that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
So, I love the character Charlie, the dude with PTSD.
Yes.
The
great character.
My favorite part with him, or actually two, is when they save the town and Chris Pine. And they're dancing, and then you just hear the piano playing, and you hear somebody singing, and Chris Pine looks over and is like, huh, I haven't heard him sing in years. And then you see him playing the piano and singing and just happy to be alive. And then, okay, so that, and then later...
It was the next morning. Or
the next morning, they're all talking like, oh, then Chris Pine was like, all right, now I said 2 days... a deal's a deal, and two of the other guys were like, nah, I'm still in.
I can't remember the one guy's name. The other guy's Chief.
I forget what they said exactly, but they were basically still in, and Charlie was like,
you don't need me.
Like, you guys don't need me. And then Wonder Woman said, but Charlie, who's gonna sing for us? And then Charlie started singing, and they're all like happy and like, oh my god.
Well, I love because he was like, well, you asked for it or whatever, and then like it cuts to them in the woods, and he's
still singing. But
that
that
was awesome. Because
that right there showed her charm. She was so charming.
Yeah. There were two scenes in London. One that I loved, which was when she was basically proving her worth, like that she could speak these other languages. She was translating that book for the generals and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the general basically said, like, no, we're not doing that. And she just loses her shit on him. Like,
flipped out.
Like, you call yourself a general, but you don't stand by those who die and serve you and all this stuff. And, like, I was sitting next to someone who was, like, formerly in the military, actually 2 people. But Sam was the one,
yeah.
and he was getting like pumped, like fuck yeah. The other scene that I liked was when she sneaks into the meeting.
Oh yeah, when Chris Pine was like, "Stay here." Fuck you.
I knew immediately she was gonna go in too.
She just went right in the door.
Exactly, and like. You know, and it's what would have happened back then. Like, you know, they're like, you know, why is a woman in here? And like, all, you know, and they start going off. But then when they came out, like, Sir Patrick was like, I'm glad you actually went in there because it got everybody to shut up for a few minutes so I can get my word in edgewise, basically. So I really like that. We didn't really talk about the mascara. Like, that was done amazing, wonderfully.
Yes. There's one thing, though, that I've heard people say, that there's a lot of slow motion.
But we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
I was okay with it.
I was okay with it, too, because it was like what you said, it really showed what the Amazons could do.
Like if everything was fast, you wouldn't know, you couldn't be able to tell what they were doing.
You probably wouldn't have been able to take it all in. Like, you saw it in the trailer when the one jumps off the shield and shoots 3 arrows at once, but the whole sequence was in slow motion. You really saw like what it took.
And what I think they did great with the slow motion is, and this is just the naked eye looking at it. So I'd have to go back and watch it again to see if this is right. But it felt like there were points in the movie where the slow motion was different speeds.
Yeah.
Like there was slow motion that was super slow motion, and there was slow motion that was just like, especially with the lasso, like it would just briefly slow down, showing it wrapping around, and then go right back, bam. And you know they used it. In my opinion, I think they used the slow motion for a purpose. Like it wasn't just gratuitous slow motion. The supporting cast of Amazons was awesome. You have Forrest Gump's girlfriend playing. God, what was her name? Queen. I have to look up all these. Like they were hard names to remember. Like Diane and Steve were. And
I forget.
Antiope. I can't remember. How do you?
And I couldn't even.
I can hear it, but I can't. I can't
just
say it.
It's on the tip of the tongue.
But the relationship between the queen and her sister, who was like the general, that was cool. I liked how it was like, it wasn't stereotypical. Like she's got to fight. You know what I mean? Like she's got to fight. It was like there was some tug and pull.
They were trying to protect her, but she wound up being like the greatest warrior of them all. Like
now, that might be a complaint of mine. Like if it's her mother and she loves her, you should probably tell her if she finds her, no, you're the god killer, not that sword. Fuck the sword. You know what I mean? Like she kind of just let her go, and then as soon as she went, she has much to learn or whatever she said. I was like, but like in the moment it was fine, but then later I was like, damn, you could have told her.
Oh, wouldn't it have been nice to know at some point?
Like that if I throw this sword at him, he's just gonna melt it and he could kill me immediately.
It's like, hey, by the way, you are the weapon. Goodbye.
That could have been useful, maybe, but again, nitpicky stuff. Very nitpicky stuff.
I think we reviewed the hell out of this movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to like in my mind go through the whole movie real fast just to make sure we didn't miss anything. The party scene followed immediately by the village being gassed.
Oh,
that was
when
awesome.
Ludendorff just grabs her and starts to dance with her.
Like
it's like at that point, it's like, how did he not feel the sword?
Well, if he's dancing normally, his hand should be on the hip.
Yeah, but they were pretty close.
It doesn't matter. Nitpicky, right?
Ludendorff had a real close.
nitpicky. But like that whole scene was really, really cool. But just her coming in, that's I can't get the words out. I love that scene so much, just because she is so driven. Like, no, I have to get him. This is so, like, you don't realize once we get him, it's over.
Yeah,
like,
but it's not.
It turned out not to be. And honestly, I think she like that was the best she looked in the movie with the sword in the back of the dress. I was like, yes,
that's cool.
That's so awesome. And then immediately followed by the scene where the town gets gassed. That was heartbreaking. Like,
and she
that was
walked
real
through
emotion.
It's like, oh, I guess she's not affected by it.
No,
no.
And Chris Pine couldn't even get within a few feet of it, and he's just like, he was about to die. So, anything else we like?
No, I think we're good on this one. I think we reviewed the hell out of it, so I'm still giving it a 10.
Yeah, I'm going 9. I can't. I've only seen it once. I need to see it one more time to see if I'm gonna put it in this personal list at the top of my favorite DC universe. Because right now, Man of Steel and Wonder Woman are like this for me, but for very similar reasons. Like the Mascara, Krypton, like it had a lot of those same beats. But that's what I love in origin stories. So I need to see it one more time to see which one tops it.
I just want to see it 10 more times.
But yeah, so 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Let us know what you guys scored this bad boy in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
So you guys don't miss a single thing from the channel.
Make sure you stay tuned.
Stay iconic.
And cue music.
Holy Grail.